I believe that Errol Spence Jr. should consider retirement. That's how bad that ass whipping was. Not only did he get into that accident in 2019, 3 months later, he revealed he was also rear-ended. A couple of years later, a 14-year-old stole his mama's vehicle, drove in a car, ran a red light, and he was in an accident because of that. You have him having to leave the game for a year because he had a detached retina. When you consider the multitude of injuries outside of the ring that he had. He is a stud. He is a big-time fighter. He was poised. He was ready. He was clearly the better boxer. He was faster. He was quicker. And if that's not enough, based off of what you saw, could you please take a look at Errol Spence Jr.?
Errol Spence Jr. is officially coming out of the shadows, and he's not looking for a welcome back party. He's looking for blood, and his response to Tszyu call-out is anything but civil.
Come back where? We hear reports you want to fight in Australia. Is that true? Can you confirm it or deny it? You know the fight fans want to see you come back, my guy. So if you can't confirm that, can you confirm that you coming back? Is that your intention to come back and box again?
You think shit sweet do you so bad?
Oh man, he's got no idea. He's got no idea. He's going to be in for a hard fight, you know, because a style like me, it always presents challenges to a lot of... The time is ticking. Father time is slowly coming for him. Retirement is coming up. And what a pleasure for me to be able to be the man to be able to do that.
If you watched the Tszyu versus Nurja fight this past weekend, you saw two very different versions of Tim Tszyu. For 3 rounds, he looked like a surgical machine, picking apart the undefeated Dennis Nurja with a level of calm we haven't seen since he started training with Pedro Diaz in Miami. But then, it happened again.
Mike Altamura, mate. A dominant performance from Tim Tszyu tonight. What did you make of it, then?
Yeah, another 10 valuable rounds banked against a world-ranked fighter who was 20-0, so all positives here. We've got some things to go back to camp and work on, but yeah, really satisfied. The boxers tick yet again.
Was it enough? Was it enough to sort of build that fight with Errol Spence?
Of course it's enough, yeah. Errol Spence been out 3 years, right? So it's not like anything changed in terms of any, say, potential doubts or questions there's on his side. And the interesting part about this fight with Spence, when it materializes, is that it's such a crossroads fight. You've got really, you know, whoever wins the fight is going to inject themselves back into a major platform within the sport, major opportunities. So, yeah, absolutely it's enough. It's, like I said, 10 rounds, safe, secure, navigated. The only concern in the fight was the head clash that caused the cut on the cheekbone, but outside that, nothing bothered him, you know.
In the 4th round, a sickening head clash opened a deep, jagged canyon under Tszyu's left eye. Suddenly, the Soul Taker was covered in crimson, and every fan in the arena had a flashback to the Fundora bloodbath. It's becoming a disturbing pattern. Tszyu has the heart of a lion, but he's developed what insiders are calling paper skin. If a domestic-level fighter like Nurja can open him up that easily, what is a seasoned killer like Errol Spence going to do with 10-ounce gloves and 12 rounds to work?
How would you assess your overall performance? It was a pretty comprehensive 10 rounds.
Yeah, I gotta rewatch it. The guy was tough, man, honestly. I guarantee you, if I was hitting Tony Harrison like that, it was out. This guy, I don't know, man. 3 nuts maybe. 3rd kahana.
Just a cut, no bone?
Nah, just a cut. Yeah. No, what bone?
Yeah, no broken bone.
Nah, nothing. No. It's a bit swollen. I could feel it swelling up, but yeah, it's part of the business, man.
Any flashbacks to 2 years ago?
Nah, luckily, you know. Luckily. All I thought was, we're in it again. But I never had no flashbacks.
Well, when you said the doctor came over, what were you going to say? You couldn't see.
In my head, I thought of that straight away. I was thinking, fuck, should I fuck around with it? And say I can't see. I was like, nah, I'm not risking it. Even if I can't see, even if I can't see, I'm gonna say it.
Despite the gore, Tszyu didn't hesitate. He grabbed the microphone and issued a chilling call-out that sent shockwaves through social media. Time to go fishing, he told the crowd. A direct shot at Spence's big fish persona.
You know what they say, catch the big fish. Let's go fishing.
But the response he got wasn't the respectful acknowledgement you'd expect between two champions. Errol Spence Jr. fired back with a venomous warning that felt personal. He told Tszyu, "You think Shat is sweet? I'm gonna whoop this boy so bad."
Look, I feel like I'm up for it, man. I feel like I'm up for it. This guy was tough, you know, no excuses. But I think me and Errol Spence going to be one hell of a fight, you know.
This isn't just a sport anymore. It's a grudge match fueled by a $15 million purse and a massive amount of pent-up frustration.
I need to address something that's very, very important to me. It involves former welterweight champion Errol Spence Jr. He is a stud. He is a big-time fighter. He was poised. He was ready. He was clearly the better boxer. He was faster. He was quicker. And if that's not enough, based off of what you saw, could you please take a look at Errol Spence Jr.? It was a struggle for him to meet the 147-pound weight limit. I heard in the days leading up to it, he found himself in a sauna and other places just fatigued and what have you because he was trying to sweat off the weight and stuff. I get all of that.
If Tszyu fought Errol Spence Jr., who would win? Who do you think would win? Because
again, it's too many variables with Spence. You know, the one positive variable is he says at a 154 he's going to be stronger. He doesn't have to struggle to make the weight, and he was, you know, it was pretty known news around the business that Spence struggled a lot to make 147. So the one positive, the argument for Spence is at 154 he's more fresh. He's going to be able to breathe a little bit into his body, and it'll be a better version of Errol Spence. The opposing figure is basically what everybody's been saying. Is his eye okay? Has he been the same since the surgery? Has he been the same since that bad car accident? Is he going to be the same after getting beaten from pillar to post by Terrence Crawford? Which also, though, that's the kind of loss that, you know, fighters don't really recover from once they're past 30 years old. You know, those kind of beatings change you if they happen when you.
Spence has been sitting on the sidelines for nearly 3 years, watching the division move on without him, and it sounds like he's planning to take all that anger out on Tszyu.
Wait,
What did he say again? I didn't really understand.
he said, I forget exactly, but he said something like, you know, you think you're the man, but I'll show you how it's done, or something along those lines.
Man, look, I can't wait to get it on with him, honestly. He hasn't fought in a long time. And I do want to expose that, you know? What do you say?
Yeah, he said, you think shit sweet, do you so bad?
Oh man, he's got no idea. He's got no idea. He's going to be in for a hard fight, you know? Because a style like me, it always presents challenges to a lot of people.
He's only ever fought at 147, Spence. Coming up to that extra weight, what should he expect in the ring with Tszyu?
Yeah, just harder punches, different gloves. It was an 8 ounce. It's not 8 ounce gloves anymore. It's up to 10 ounce, and just a different feeling, you know. Coming off a 3-year layoff, I'm a bad guy to choose off the first go.
He called you trash at one point as well.
Yeah, he also lost money from me as well. So it's just typical, man.
But here's where the controversy really starts to boil over. Why is Errol Spence, one of the greatest welterweights of our generation, skipping a tune-up fight to jump straight into a cage with a young lion like Tszyu? The rumors backstage are getting loud, and they aren't pretty. Some analysts are claiming that Spence is ruined, that the car accidents, the eye surgeries, and the beating he took from Terrence Crawford have left him with nothing but a name. They're saying this $15 million mega fight is nothing more than a money grab before he hangs up the gloves for good.
At what level of Spence still beats a guy like Tim Tszyu? What'd you think about his performance, and what are your thoughts on the matchup with Spence coming up?
Look, I think the question is going to be, what Errol Spence do we see? Who are we gonna see? Because we haven't seen him in a while. We don't know. He hasn't had a tune-up fight, a comeback fight. He's going straight into the Tim Tszyu fight. Tim Tszyu performed well when the distance had good good counter punching, did really good. I was happy with his performance. He also, one thing that it's very common, a lot of blood in his fights, gets cut, whatever it is, from headbutts, elbows, whatever it is, he's going to get cut. So that, he was able to go through that, blood in his, cut in his eye, under his eye, blood, and still able to go, did well, good counter punching. I think it was good for him to go the distance. Errol Spence, we don't know, if we get the young Errol Spence that was doing great at welterweight, then Errol Spence should be able to dominate. But honestly, I don't know. It's tough to say we're gonna have the new Errol Spence. Errol Spence might not have anything left. He might not have anything left, and that's probably the what I think, that he doesn't have much left. And if I was forced to make a prediction right now, I think Errol Spence has nothing left, and it'll be.
However, don't mistake inactive for incapable. While the critics are busy writing Spence's retirement speech, Tszyu is dealing with his own technical nightmare. In his post-fight interview, Tim admitted something startling. I need a sledgehammer to hit these guys.
What's that?
In round 4, it came awfully close to a potential stoppage there.
Yeah.
What was the message in the corner then? And in round 5, obviously, we thought we were going to come out and get it done. But
Yeah. Man, the guy was tough. I'll be honest with you. He was, and then I think after the round 4, the momentum sort of shift where it was like, I'm here to survive. I'm not here to try and crack on and punch on. I'm here to survive. I'll lose the fight, and that's not a problem. I'll survive the fight, and then I can move on to another fight in the future. I think that's the mentality, and I think that's how we just got through.
what kind of progression do you think you've made now, having had this extra fight under your belt for Federer? Are there areas there where you felt you were definitely better than when you fought Velasquez?
Two different opponents. I feel like maybe I hurt this guy a bit more. Maybe I was a bit too cautious as well. But yeah, I think my jab was snappy. Sometimes I was a bit rushy. But overall, I think it was a sound performance, 10 rounds out of 10, so can't complain about that.
Even though he dominated Nurja, he couldn't find the finishing blow. If Tszyu can't put away a replacement fighter, how is he going to stop a man who has stood toe-to-toe with the hardest hitters in the sport? Spence is moving up to 154 pounds for the first time, meaning he'll likely be stronger and more durable than ever.
First off, I want to say there's stuff I know about Errol Spence's future in boxing that I have sworn to secrecy and I just can't mention. It's not that for sure it's going to happen, but these are the things that I've been hearing. And, I just really can't say anything. And it didn't surprise me to see video of him hitting the mitts and working out. If you look at his physique, you can tell he's been working out. My assessment of his mitt work right now, he looks rusty, as he should. He looks rusty, looks like he's pushed his punches a little bit. He always kind of pushed his jab though. But it looks like he's taking the light, probably warming up. You're not gonna see everything he's doing. His physique, his body looks well conditioned. He looks healthy, right? I'm happy he took some time off after Terrence Crawford, that shit was crazy. I mean, you know, he had the accident, then he came back and fought Danny Swift Garcia, then he was gone for a while, he fought Ugas. I think he had like another accident, then he had a detached retina when he was gonna fight Manny Pacquiao, and then fought Terrence Crawford and that shit. So really, he should have taken some time off, not just to reassess what he's going to do in his career, but to also get some rest.
The logistics of this mega fight are just as chaotic as the matchup itself. The $15 million deal is allegedly locked in, but the location is currently a tug of war between the bright lights of Las Vegas and a massive stadium in Australia. Tszyu wants to bring the truth to his backyard. But Spence is a Texas boy, and he's used to the big stages of AT&T Stadium. If this fight lands in Australia, the pressure on Spence will be unlike anything for the unfavorable stage and crowd. But if it goes to Vegas, Tszyu has to face the ghosts of his past. The same city where he lost his title and nearly his career in that nightmare against Fundora.
Okay, I might vaguely now, but yeah, so anyway, good stuff for Errol Spence. You know, like to see him come back. And, you know, that's not a bad opponent. At least he's a name opponent. And, you know, like, again, with all the things included for Spence, I think nobody can complain about that. A lot of people just want to see him back in the ring. And Fundora, Tim Tszyu is a decent fighter. He's a decent fighter. Yeah, he's decent.
Now, so Spence, when this fight comes into June, it'll be obviously 3 years. Yeah, and he's also going to Australia for the fight. So, what do you think? What do you think about the layoff and then the beating that he took with Spence? Crawford. You know, leading into that 3-year period. Yeah, you know what I mean. And then also needing to go into Australia, which is Tim Tszyu's hometown.
Well, I think the rest was much needed. You know, I'm sure he had a lot to talk about with the victory, like get over things mentally about that. And he probably had other stuff that was going on too, though, you know? So he just probably handled it all, got it all out the way, probably had stuff he was dealing with, whatever that was leading up to the fight. But when that happened, you know, his kind of momentum kind of stopped. So he probably had a chance to reevaluate himself and you know, get everything under control so he can resume his career again. Probably had to, you know, get enough time to do that. So that's what I'm banking on, you know, that he settled all his affairs and made peace with everything and got everything just right. So now he can, you know, finish off his career. So I think that's good. Going over to Australia is nothing. You know, Spence has proven, you know, his mettle going over there with Brooke, coming back and fighting Danny Garcia after the car accident. You know, he didn't show that, you know what I'm saying? He, you know, went to war with Sean Porter. He didn't show what he is, you know, so I wouldn't take that from him. And, you know, I wouldn't expect no less.
We are looking at a fight where Father Time is chasing one man and physical fragility is haunting the other. It's a race to see which one breaks first, Spence's chin or Tszyu's skin.
Is great. I'm for the first time in a very long time, I'm at a loss for words because I don't know what to expect, right? If he comes back looking sensational versus Tszyu, blocking well, boxing well, got Roy Jones in this corner, you know, breaking Tszyu off, you know what I mean, breaking him down and knocking him out, stopping him or something like that, you can't help but to be like, well, you know, I would definitely favor Jermell Charlo over Errol, though. I don't know if Errol would be all the way back. But Canelo got a 3-fight deal. Canelo versus Errol Spence, finally. You know, Canelo got like that new extension with His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh. I saw him at the Ring Awards, right? I saw him taking pictures with Mbili and shit like that. You know, and Errol Spence always wanted that. If Errol Spence were to beat Tszyu and Jermell Charlo, and if Bud doesn't come back, I know he'll be looking at Fundora, Keith, winner, but that Canelo back.
As we head toward a July or August showdown, the boxing world is split right down the middle. When you put $15 million on the table and 2 men in the ring, someone is getting offed from the title picture for good. The big fish is out of the water, the Soul Taker is bleeding out, and in a few months, only one of them will be standing. The only question left is, are you betting on the Legend's ghost or the Warrior's scars? Because in this game, nothing is ever as sweet as it seems. So, that's all for today. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section. Stay tuned and we will catch you in the next video.